Previously on A Journey into DCC.
If you want the best track plan, use the best machine. Check the serial file, and you'll see what we mean.
Huh.
Mister, I have bad news.
Is the Wi-Fi down?
No, sir. I couldn't locate your magical module box, nor the magical machine.
Someone out there has my stuff, and I need it back.
I did some snooping, sir, and I did find this.
M&M rails. Interesting.
Master, I have an idea.
Hi everyone, welcome back to A Journey into DCC. Before I begin, I just realized that you haven't seen all my mods put together. Well, I'm not going to show you just yet, so keep watching. In this video, I'm going to prepare my mods for the center lines, I'm going to draw my center lines, and then I'm going to glue down some roadbed. And I haven't decided if I'm going to use cork or foam. We'll see. I also haven't decided on a track plan just yet, but I have decided I'm going to do the outer loop first. So that's where I'll start.
First thing I did was tighten all my bolts to make sure the mods were secure and snug. Next I checked to see if all the mods were level with each other. In some cases there was a bit of unevenness, so I just sanded down the foam to level it out. You can see here that in some areas the two pieces of foam are level, but there's a small gap under the track where the wood edges meet. I will solve this later with some filler. I have a 3-inch margin from the edge of the modules to the outer track, and I have 2-inch center lines. This should be enough room for 2 trains to pass. But will they pass safely on 2-inch center curved lines? You can see here that I have 3 radii. I wanted to maximize the curves for the best looking results. So my outer curve was 34.5, then 32.5, and 30.5 inches. I use the word was because when Chris came over to test the curves, he noticed that
it's friggin' close.
So I widened the spacing to 2.5 inches, keeping the outer curve at 34.5, and made the others 32 and 29.5. I kept my straight track at 2 inches. Now that I had my specs down, it was time to draw the actual track center lines. I used a pencil instead of a marker because Ron from Ron's Trains and Things recommended it.
I would never use anything but pencil. 2 reasons why. Number one, pencil, if you make a mistake, you can erase pencil and work back over it, and that makes a lot less mess, and it's a lot easier to see what you're doing on your new marks.
Thanks, Ron. Drawing the straight lines was fairly easy, but to make the curves was tricky. Not only did I have to draw them, I had to widen them an extra ½ inch. To make the curves, I built a trammel, or a compass. Here is my homemade trammel tool. I used an old broom handle and a piece of wood long enough that would reach from mod to mod. You'll notice I had the old radii on here. I drilled some new holes, measuring from the pencil hole to the correct distance. I placed a nail through the hole and attached my arm to the base piece. Now the arm can move freely from side to side. I put my pencil on the end and started measuring. I found the middle of the end mod, which is 1 foot since the end mods are 2 feet by 2 feet. I then measured in 3 inches. I'm hoping this is enough space to avoid trains from falling off the edge, but I really did want to maximize my curve radius. Now that my pencil is centered, I centered the base. I found the center of the mods, so my trammel arm was lined up straight. Then I literally rolled up my sleeves and started to draw my curves. One thing about the pencil is that I did poke some holes in the foam. Once my curves and straight lines were drawn, I wanted to add some easements, and thanks to Ron, he showed me a
simple way to do this easily and quickly on your model railroad in a way that's going to look great. My formula here is that I want my transition distance each side of this reference mark where the curve and tangent come together to be 60% of my radius, or approximately 60%.
I used a piece of cork to test what my easement would look like.
In a way that's going to look great.
Jokes aside, Ron's video really helped me, and I made some nice easements. Check out his video for the actual math and other great tips for laying curves on your layout in the description down below.
Okay, next step. It's time for roadbed. The question is, what do I use? Foam or cork? I got this foam free in the mail, mysteriously, and Chris gave me his cork for next to nothing. So price is not a factor. I think it's time for an old-fashioned durability test.
I actually don't have anything against the foam track bed, but since my brother and I use it on the DC layout, I thought I would change it up and try cork. I use white glue to glue the cork down, and then use push pins to keep the cork in place. Another issue with using pencil is that it was difficult for me to see the lines, so beforehand, I used a marker to make small dots along the line so that I would see them through the glue. To fill in the gaps under the cork, I took one of my wife's credit cards, cut it up, and then glued pieces underneath the cork. Now that all the cork is down on my outer loop, all I have to do is give it a quick sanding and it'll be ready for track. I know this is a modular layout and I should cut the cork for each mod, but this layout isn't moving for a while and I really want to run trains. I'm hoping this method is faster and more efficient for me. Thanks a lot for watching and stay tuned for Chapter 6.
You take my mod kit, and you take my track planner. You leave me no choice. Your dreams of finishing this layout will not come true. Time to hack your YouTube channel.